Dr. Elena Vasquez pressed her trembling fingers against the quantum transmitter's console, her breath fogging the cracked visor of her environmental suit. The colony ship Meridian groaned around her, its hull buckling under the relentless assault of the Void Devourers, parasitic entities that consumed matter at the molecular level, leaving nothing but empty space in their wake. "This is colony ship Meridian, broadcasting on all frequencies," she spoke into the transmitter, her voice barely steady. "We are under attack by unknown hostile entities. Our defenses have failed. We have children aboard. Please, if anyone can hear this, we need immediate assistance." The message shot out across the galaxy, carried by quantum entanglement networks that stretched between star systems. Elena had modified the transmission to bypass normal diplomatic channels, knowing that official help would arrive too late. The Void Devourers had already consumed 3 decks, and the screams echoing through the ship's corridors told her they were accelerating their feast. 3 hours passed. The ship's population had dwindled from 8,000 to barely 300 survivors huddled in the central core. Elena was preparing to send a final message when the response came, not through the communication array, but through reality itself. Space twisted outside the viewport like molten glass. The stars bent and warped until they formed a spiral pattern that hurt to look at directly. Then, with a sound that shouldn't have been possible in the vacuum of space, something emerged. The ships, if they could be called ships, defied every law of physics Elena knew. They appeared to be constructed from crystallized shadow, their surfaces absorbing light while somehow remaining visible. They moved with predatory grace, surrounding the Meridian in a formation that reminded Elena uncomfortably of hunting wolves. "Unknown vessels," she transmitted, hope and terror warring in her chest. "This is Dr. Elena Vasquez of the colony ship Meridian. We sent a distress call. Are you here to help?" The response came not through radio waves but directly into her mind, a voice like grinding obsidian and dying stars. "We received your plea, little flesh creature. We have come." Elena felt her blood turn to ice. The voice carried undertones that spoke of civilizations reduced to ash, of worlds stripped bare, of the cold mathematics of extinction. Yet behind the terror she sensed something else, ancient boredom and perhaps, incredibly, amusement. "You called for help against devourers," the voice continued. "How quaint. We are the harvesters. We have been harvesting since your sun was dust. These parasites dare to consume in our presence?" Through the viewport, Elena watched as the shadow ships moved toward the Void Devourers with terrible purpose. What followed could barely be called a battle. The Devourers, creatures that had seemed unstoppable moments before, were simply unmade. Not destroyed, not killed. Their very existence was revoked by beings that operated on a level of reality Elena couldn't comprehend. The relief was short-lived. "The parasites are dealt with," the voice informed her. "Now about payment." "Payment," Elena whispered, though she already knew. She had studied enough xenobiology to recognize apex predators when she saw them. "You called us across the void. You awakened us from our slumber between galaxies. Did you think such a service would be free?" The shadow ships moved closer, and Elena could see movement within their crystalline hulls. Shapes that violated geometry, entities that existed in too many dimensions simultaneously. The harvesters had indeed saved them from the Void Devourers. But as Elena watched her saviors approach, she realized with growing horror that they had simply replaced one extinction with another. The Void Devourers consumed matter randomly, mindlessly. The harvesters, however, consumed with purpose, with intelligence, with the calculated efficiency of beings who had perfected the art of harvesting civilizations across cosmic epochs. Elena's finger hovered over the transmitter one last time. Perhaps she could send another plea, warn other colonies about what had answered their call. But even as the thought formed, she knew it was too late. The harvesters had come, and their harvest would be thorough. The Meridian had called for help, and the most dangerous beings in the galaxy had answered. Sometimes Elena realized in her final moments the cure was far worse than the disease.